All right, we're going to begin the meeting at 2:33 p.m. Roll call?
Trustee Barto?
Yes?
Trustee Crane?
Here.
Trustee Anderson?
Here.
Trustee Ursulou?
Here.
Trustee Murphy?
Here.
Trustee Pearson?
Here.
Trustee Wygand? Dr. Smith?
Here.
Adoption of the agenda. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved by Trustee Crane, seconded by Trustee Anderson. Roll call vote.
Trustee Barto?
Yes?
Trustee Crane?
Yes.
Trustee Anderson?
Yes.
Trustee Ursulou?
Yes.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
Trustee Pearson?
Yes.
Trustee Wygand?
Okay. Community input on closed session items. Do we have any comments? Okay. We will now move to closed session. The items are 4A, complaint concerning employee number 202209HR. 4B, conference with labor negotiator. 4C, public employee discipline, dismissal, release, employment. 4D, conference with legal counsel, anticipated litigation, 2 cases. We will return to open session at 6 p.m.
All right. We'll call the meeting to order at 6 p.m.
So do I ever have to push the button? Yours is actually. This will be your button.
All right. We will begin with the administration of the oath of office. Oh, but first we have in closed session regarding item 4A, the following motion was adopted. The Board of Education approved the investigation findings and denied the employee's appeal. The roll call vote was as follows: 16 approved. Trustee Murphy voted no. And with that, we move on to administration of the oath of office. Okay. I call up Dr. Almaharis. Thank you very much.
Well, good evening. It's a pleasure for me to be here to administer the oath of office to 4 board members. And going to mention their names now. Ashley Anderson, trustee Area 7, re-elected for a 2nd term. I was just talking to your mom over here and very proud of you. And I'm sure there are many individuals in this room who are proud of all of you. Michelle Barto, trustee Area 5, re-elected to 2nd term. And then we have 2 newly elected board members, Michelle Murphy and Elisa Pearson. So I'm going to administer the oath of office. I do want to thank Dr. Wes Smith for his leadership and for inviting me here. And Rosie, thank you, Amesqua, for all that you did to coordinate everything. So I simply want to mention that the oath which you will be taking is a sacred oath. And I think any form of public service is a high calling, but I think this is the highest, because the work that you are doing as the highest level of authority in a school district, and this is an amazing school district. It's one of the best in the United States, frankly. And I don't say that lightly because I don't want you to think I'm just here to blow smoke, but it is true. The work that you do, both in making sure that all students meet the highest marks of academia, established by the curriculum adopted by the board, and a wonderful staff, teachers and classified staff members, great parent support. But those marks are always high in this school district. So I like to use this district as an example in any speeches that I make about pedagogy and the importance of teaching our children to engage and to, think way big visionaries for their lives, because they're going to lead this country. In fact, many of them are leading now. We see the youth today as they rise. So it is sacred, and there's a proverb that says, train up a child in the way he or she should go, and they will not depart from it. And it's true. You see these Geico commercials that they don't want you to be like your parents. Frankly, when you become 30 years old, you look more like your parents, no matter what people say about it. But you've inculcated the right values. So let's go ahead now, and do you want to come up front here and take the oath, or do you want? So let's have the new board members and those that are newly elected come up front, and then I will administer the oath, and you can get back to business. So if you'd come forward. Okay, so please raise your right hand and say after me. And when I say now, I want you to state your names, and you can do it collectively in unison. Okay, now. Say your name. Okay. Do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter. Congratulations. That was a long sentence. Congratulations. Thank you. You may be seated.
Right, and now it is our pleasure to move to opening ceremonies, moment of reflection, pledge of allegiance, led by our student board member.
Ready, begin?
I move to adoption of the minutes from 11/15/22. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved by trustee Wygand, seconded by trustee Anderson. Roll call vote.
Trustee Barto.
Yes?
Trustee Crane.
Yes.
Trustee Anderson.
Yes.
Trustee Ursulou.
Yes.
Trustee Murphy.
Yes.
Trustee Pearson.
Yes.
Trustee Wygand.
Yes.
Okay, great. And now we move on to our recognitions. 11A, adopt resolution number 17-12-22, Distinguished Service Award for Ken Wayman. May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. It's been moved by trustee Crane, seconded by trustee Anderson. Roll call vote.
Trustee Barto.
Yes.
Trustee Crane.
Yes.
Trustee Anderson.
Yes.
Trustee Ursulou.
Yes.
Trustee Murphy.
Yes.
Trustee Pearson.
Yes.
Trustee Wygand.
Yes.
And it is now my pleasure to present the board's Distinguished Service Award to Ken Wayman. I'm going to read it, and then if you have anything to say, and then we have a little something for you. Resolution of the Board of Education of the Newport-Mesa Unified School District Distinguished Service Award honoring Kenneth Wayman. Whereas Kenneth Wayman has served the Newport-Mesa Unified School District for a collective 42 years in various capacities, including as an educator, board member, and board appointee on the Personnel Commission. And whereas During his 24-year tenure with the NMUSD Personnel Commission, Kenneth Wayman has served as the board's designee and has represented the Board of Education with the highest of standards of integrity, expertise, and dedication. And whereas Kenneth Wayman's calm, steady leadership qualities and legal experience were an asset to the Personnel Commission and the Board of Education, where he served as trustee for 12 years and served as president for 2 terms. And whereas Kenneth Wayman began his career as an educator, teaching for 6 years at Adams Elementary School. The experience left a lasting impression and planted the roots of a commitment to service. Before leaving the district to pursue a career in law, Mr. Wayman was compelled to state in his resignation form, "I don't know whether or not I will have the opportunity to teach full-time in the future, but it is my hope and intention to be involved in the lives and education of young people throughout my life. The experiences, personal and professional, over the past 6 years were of great satisfaction at the time and in the future should be an invaluable resource." Whereas, as a result of the exemplary contributions of Kenneth Wayman and his dedication and honorable service to the Newport-Mesa Unified School District, the students, families, staff, community, and the Board of Education have greatly benefited. And now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Newport-Mesa Unified School District presents Kenneth Wayman with the Newport-Mesa Unified School District's Distinguished Service Award for his outstanding contributions to the district, and that by this proclamation, Kenneth Wayman will carry with him the best wishes of the Board of Education and of the district for continued happiness and great success in his future endeavors. Presented, signed, and approved the 13th day of December, 2022, at a regular meeting of the Board of Education of the Newport-Mesa Unified School District.
And now it is time to recognize you, Trustee Bartow. On behalf of the outgoing board and Newport-Mesa Unified School District, we would like to thank you for your service of being our president for the past year. You have served with poise, dedication, and passion and sacrifice, and for that we are very thankful to you. And we'd like to present you with the traditional plaque that probably should go next to the flag that's up on your fireplace that says President Bartow, in recognition of distinguished and devoted service as president. Thank you so much. We're not done. And then there's also the traditional gift that we give as a board to you. It's a little heavy. So here it is. Enjoy. You want me to open it? Yeah, open it. It's quite an unusual gift, but it's going to come in very handy. Oh, do we need the scissors? No, I got it. Okay, because I don't have any.
Thank you, guys. I don't want to dump out all the popcorn. But it's a power sander, which I appreciate. Thank you.
It's always nice to receive a gift that you actually want. Yes. So she wanted a sander, so we got her one.
Yes. I'm speechless. Thank you so much. I probably like this more than most things. It's been such a It's such a pleasure working with all of you guys and over the past year, and how much I've learned from all of you as being the president. And thank you for trusting me and for for pushing me in excellent ways. So thanks very much.
All right. So we have, Annette, do you want a picture with Michelle and her award? Do you want not the sander. We'll leave the sander out.
All right, so now we move to our annual organization meeting, which we will open at 6:15 p.m.
One night a year to hold the gavel. It's awesome. In the beginning, we have our required appointments, and we'll begin tonight with the election of our board president. Do I have a nomination?
I'd like to nominate Trustee Anderson.
Do I have a second?
Second.
We have a first and a second. Do we have any discussion? All right, let's hear a roll call vote.
Trustee Barto?
Yes.
Trustee Crane?
Abstain?
Trustee Anderson?
Yes.
Trustee Ursulou?
Yes.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
Trustee Pearson?
No.
Trustee Weigand?
No.
All right. Motion carries. The gavel is now yours.
Thank you.
We changing seats? Not yet.
Not
Okay. Oh.
after recess, I think.
We can change seats.
I think they're going to switch now.
Oh.
Thank you. It's nice not to speak the whole time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Stars we do. This is script after 12.
All right. First up, we are going to do 12B, approve election of board vice president for 2023. Do I have any nominations?
I'll nominate Trustee Crane.
Second.
All right, roll call vote.
Trustee Anderson?
Yes.
Trustee Crane?
Yes.
Trustee Barto?
Yes.
Trustee Ursulou?
Yes.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
Trustee Pearson?
Yes.
Trustee Weigand?
Yes.
All right, 7-0. And we will go to 12C, approve election of board clerk for 2023. Do I have a nomination?
I nominate Krista Weigand.
Have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Roll call vote.
Trustee Anderson?
Yes.
Trustee Crane?
Yes.
Trustee Barto?
Yes.
Trustee Ursulou?
Yes.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
Trustee Pearson?
Yes.
Trustee Weigand?
Yes.
And we will go to 12D, approve appointment of secretary for 2023. Do I have a nomination for Dr. Wesley Smith?
I nominate Dr. Wesley Smith as our board secretary.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Trustee Anderson?
Yes.
Trustee Crane?
Yes.
Trustee Barto?
Yes.
Trustee Ursulou?
Yes.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
Trustee Pearson?
Yes.
Trustee Weigand?
Yes.
And for 12E, approve appointment of assistant secretary for 2023. and we have several. These are our assistant superintendent roles. Assistant Superintendent Elementary Education, Assistant Superintendent Secondary Education, Assistant Superintendent Achievement, Innovation, Continuous Improvement, Assistant Superintendent Chief Human Resources Officer, Assistant Superintendent Student Support Services, and Assistant Superintendent Chief Operating Officer. Do I have a nomination?
So moved?
Second.
Roll call?
Trustee Anderson?
Yes.
Trustee Crane?
Yes.
Trustee Barto?
Yes?
Trustee Ursulu?
Yes.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
Trustee Pearson?
Yes.
Trustee Weigand?
Yes.
Great. Okay. And now we'll do 12F. Approve recommendation for Chief Negotiator Leona Olson for 2023. Do I have a nomination?
So moved?
I'll second.
Roll call?
Trustee Anderson?
Yes.
Trustee Crane?
Yes.
Trustee Barto?
Yes?
Trustee Ursulu?
Yes.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
Trustee Pearson?
Yes.
Trustee Weigand?
Yes.
Okay. 12G, approve designation of management personnel for 2023 as presented. Do I have a nomination? Or motion?
Are we going through, just a clarification, are we going through the ones that maybe we can, oh, we are.
Step.
Okay, and the next step, sorry, they're all yellow. Gotcha. I nominate, let me get to my list, sorry.
You can just say as listed.
Okay, I nominate as listed on, with trustee Crane, Pearson, and Wygand.
Wait,
no.
no, we're at
12
12G,
Oopsies.
bottom of number 1.
That's just, oh, okay, gotcha. Well, excuse me, I don't want to be the designation of management personnel. No, thank you. I take mine away. I am going to nominate Dr. Wesley Smith, superintendent, and the assistant superintendents.
And the rest of it.
A second?
As listed, because there are other ones on the other page.
Oh, sorry, as listed. God, this is really throwing me off. Sorry, everyone. As listed.
I will second that.
Roll call?
Trustee Anderson?
Yes.
Trustee Crane?
Yes.
Trustee Barto?
Yes?
Trustee Ursulu?
Yes.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
Trustee Pearson?
Yes.
Trustee Weigand?
Yes.
For items 12H, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, V, W, and Y. This is the newest. Okay. They can be grouped together and considered as one item since there are appropriate numbers of trustees self-selected in each committee. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Trustee Anderson?
Yes.
Trustee Crane?
Yes.
Trustee Barto?
Yes?
Trustee Ursulu?
Yes.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
Trustee Pearson?
Yes.
Trustee Weigand?
Yes.
Okay. And for 12I,
12.
going backward. For 12I for the crop representative. This is correct. Right, okay, cool. As listed, do I have a nomination?
If I have a question, does it come before or after the motion? Or in the nomination?
It might help if we clarify in this one, 2 board members self-selected. This is one of those where you can elect one. So we have 2 interested and need to elect one to serve on this body.
So my question is Trustee Barto already is a sitting member of the executive board of crops? So does that then release the position to, do you know what I mean? If she's already a sitting board member on crop.
Our record is that that terminates in 2022, so at the end of,
Oh.
yeah.
Going, okay. I can remove myself from that, that's fine, and allow,
Oh, no, you
Trustee
don't need
Barto.
to. So we added this one separately, so you both
we did.
can do it.
okay.
No, this one we can't.
This week
Or
only
not?
because
Oh, we're doing that, okay, okay. Then it is wrong, okay, it's incorrect then on here. All right, perfect. Do I have a nomination for that?
I nominate trustee Barto for crop and alternative Carol Crane.
Do I have a second?
I second.
Okay, roll call.
Trustee Anderson?
Yes?
Trustee Crane?
Yes.
Trustee Barto?
Yes?
Trustee Ursulou?
Yes.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
Trustee Pearson?
Yes.
Trustee Weigand?
Yes.
Okay, going to our next one. 12X for the Newport Mesa and City of Costa Mesa District Liaison Meeting. We're allowed to have 3 for that. Do we have a motion for, or would somebody like to be the alternate? Someone like to nominate?
I nominate the slate of Wygand, Ersoylu, and Murphy. Since you're present.
I'll second.
Would you like to, she has on there to be an alternative.
Me as an alternative?
Or would you, do you want to be on?
No, I'd actually like to attend the Costa Mesa City liaison meetings.
Michelle Barto seconded.
We'll call roll call and let it die. Yeah. Okay, roll call.
Trustee Anderson?
No, or,
Trustee Crane?
Yes.
Trustee Barto?
Yes?
Trustee Ursulou?
why? Because she wants to be on the way it was read was just.
Oh, clarification, I don't want to be an alternate, I want to be on
Sitting
the sitting,
The
on
way
the
she read it
committee.
is the
Oh,
Because that was in 2022, but if you look at the 2023,
yes.
I think we nominated Ursula, Murphy, and Wygand.
Yeah.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I mean, I definitely want to be in that meeting. It's a really important meeting to me.
As president, could you be the alternate?
Yes, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'll be the alternate. Start over. Okay, do I have a nomination for that?
Yeah,
wanna-
we have a
because it
first and a
wasn't-
second.
The nomination did
included
not
on there.
mention the alternate, so I can, if you want, we can kill
wanna
this
amend?
one and then try again.
Yeah, we can let this one die and then do it again. Yeah.
Okay, I can rephrase it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, roll call. It's like my favorite meeting. That's why
Trustee Anderson?
So this is the previous
this is
motion,
we're
so we're
dying.
voting.
This is the
yeah.
dying
Yes.
one.
No.
Trustee Crane?
No.
Trustee Barto?
No.
Trustee Ursulou?
No.
Trustee Murphy?
No.
Trustee Pearson?
No.
Trustee Weigand?
No.
I would like to, oh. Should I go ahead and motion? I would like to move for 12X, Newport-Mesa Unified School District, City of Costa Mesa District Liaison Meetings, and nominate trustees Ersoylu, Murphy, Wygand, with trustee Anderson as the alternate.
A second?
Second?
Okay, roll call.
Trustee Anderson?
Yes.
Trustee Crane?
Yes.
Trustee Barto?
Yes.
Trustee Ursulou?
Yes.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
Trustee Pearson?
Yes.
Trustee Weigand?
Yes.
All right. Then we will adjourn the annual organizational meeting and have a brief recess. And we will start our recess right now at 6:28 and come back at 6:40. All right. Okay, we're going to reconvene with item 14, student board member reports. And the topic this time was, what is the importance of civility and disagreement, and how do we regain it? And if I can please have Isabella Mills from Costa Mesa High School.
Good evening, President, Superintendent, Board, and Cabinet. My name is Isabella Mills, and I'm the student representative for Costa Mesa High School. Civility is an essential part of disagreement, for without it we would descend into powerless conversation without a resolution. After interviewing a number of students surrounding the importance of civility, many agree that it takes away from the pressure and tension of argument and allows for both sides of a disagreement to be thoroughly addressed. Many students also stressed an importance for open-mindedness from all participants to ensure that an argument becomes more of a structured debate and diffuses any tension between the parties. In terms of regaining civility, many students stated that the best way to go about this is to take a moment to let emotions settle and set new boundaries before reopening discussion. Many also stated that they prefer a mediator, whether a parent, a peer, or a teacher. Altogether, everyone I asked, along with myself, agree that civility is of utmost importance to any conversation, disagreement or no, in order to ensure respect and foster new ideas. Thank you.
Okay, next up from Corona Del Mar High School, TJ Rocos.
Thank you, Superintendent Smith, members of the board. As always, I'm humbled by the opportunity to attend these meetings and represent the thousands of students in the Corona Del Mar area. Congratulations to our new board members joining us for the first time. Before I engage the question that has been posed, I would like to take a few moments to give those that were not on our campus a rundown of what occurred last week. We celebrated Mrs. Yeltsin's retirement with a clap out of the quad. I had never heard of such a thing, but Dr. Haley suggested it, and I loved the idea. After she was paraded around the hundreds of students celebrating her, I was honored to be able to deliver a few short remarks, as well as give her the ASB Award of Excellence. Then on Friday, we had our holiday rally. I got to embarrass myself in 3 separate dances with cheer and sparkle. Turns out dancing is considerably harder than football. And I'm trying to get any video evidence of that event deleted. For those that were there, I apologize that you had to see my moves on display. But all jokes aside, I'm proud of the event our ASB was able to put on. It took all 50 of us, as well as several hundred cups of coffee, working until the early morning hours on Friday to set up. But specifically, Ella Jackson, Hannah Hikes, Sophia Hagman, Maggie Marr, Luca Vasillo, Megan Schaefer, Kendall Cushy, Faith Chavez, Grace McCarthy, Nolan Crane, and Will Hemphill deserve recognition because they made the whole event happen. Now to address the civility question. The clear and obvious cause for its degradation in our society is social media. For politicians, sound bites and one-liners are now viewed as a better way to win over voters compared to complex thoughts and discussions. For normal people, this technology has given us an unnatural way to communicate amongst each other, and it has desensitized us from people's feelings. Whether through an anonymous account or not, staring at a screen rather than a person takes away the natural sense we all have to hold back from blurting out something hateful. This is certainly something we can all work on. However, in our attempt to improve civility in our society, we cannot silence dissenting opinions. There is no question that mass censorship is occurring in America, especially on college campuses. Now, I know you're thinking I'm about to criticize our education system here. Well, actually, I'm not. I'm complimenting it. I have always felt comfortable at CDM to share my opinions and beliefs in the classroom, even controversial ones, and trust me, I have plenty of them. I wish that my 5th period AP Government class with Mr. Kennedy could be displayed to the whole country. It is the most impressive and thought-provoking class I have ever been a part of. Mr. Kennedy ensures that every side is presented, and he leads the class in debates and arguments that are civil because we attack ideas and not people. I can only hope that other high schools in our district provide the same space for students to speak their minds without intimidation. And I pray that the censorship occurring in universities does not seep into NMUSD. Because when we lose our First Amendment right, we lose our country. As Clarence Thomas once said, right is right, even when you stand by yourself. Thank you, everyone, and God bless you all.
Thank you. From Early College High School, Marcelina Sanchez.
Good evening, everyone. I first want to start off by saying that Early College High School is having their college finals this week, so I wish everybody luck, and I hope I pass all of them. To get started, I think it is important to have healthy and respectful disagreements with people, especially to teach students to stay calm, listen, and engage with someone. At times, it can be instinct to just become defensive about our opinions, but that can lead to us being disrespectful. In class, we do have disagreements, but it is important to be taught how to react to them. Being civil can help two people come to an agreement. The more we are exposed to civility in a disagreement, the more we can grow as speakers. I think Early College High School is doing an amazing job implementing these skills with us as students. Thank you.
Thank you. And from Estancia High School, Fernando Baranon.
Hi, Superintendent Smith and fellow board members. In today's society, it has become common to speak out whenever we disagree on certain circumstances that we hold importance to. The manner of reacting to a disagreement is the key to the fundamental way we interact with one another. You can either hear the other side's point of view, even though you don't share the same form of agreement, or you can become ignorant and choose to deny yourself of being open-minded. The civility aspect in a disagreement is crucial because it shows a sense of respect from human to human regardless of their difference. Achieving civility is possible, but because we have grown accustomed to being passionate about the topic that we are presenting, agree to disagree views, we tend to overlook the need to show politeness, thus resulting in both sides of the argument being sensitive due to the other side's choice of words on the subject. I wanted to highlight yesterday's meeting for One on Campus program that has been essential in supporting students. This Monday night meeting, One on Campus had an informational meeting regarding the vape culture and how it has brought a negative impact on today's youth. Although I haven't really had an experience with drugs or vape or any of that stuff, I feel like it's very important for us to acknowledge the consequences that it brings and to help support those who are being affected by it. And I feel like this program has really brought out unity in my school community, and I feel like it should be continued in all the other Newport-Mesa Unified School District schools. I also wanted to highlight that today, the art club at Estancia High School had a dog therapy event for like mental health wellness, which is very cool to see because it's something that we haven't had before. And I'm the president of the art club, and just to see so many students, staff members, and counselors being there to like witness that and seeing the interactions was wholesome, and I really enjoyed it, and I hope that our school continues to have similar events like that. And thank you.
Thank you very much. Item 15, the Harbor Council PTA report. There is no report per Cynthia Strassman, so we'll move on to 16. CSEA president comments, Stu Tedford.
Good evening, board. President Anderson, happy to have you. Michelle, sorry to see you go, but we'll see you around. New board members, I want to welcome you. I'm Stu Tedford. I'm the president of CSEA, and along with my e-board, we represent the workers, cafeteria, bus drivers and stuff. I did want to bring something to your attention that I know that the district is aware of, but the new board members may have some insight into how we can help support our instructional aides, especially in the special ed departments. We're vastly understaffed, as is every school district in the country probably, and especially here locally. They're struggling to meet the needs of the students, and they're doing their very, very best, but they're feeling unsupported and they're feeling overwhelmed. I know that that's something that's very, very common. I'm not looking for an immediate resolution or solution for it, but I know that some things have been in the works, and I just want to impress upon you how important it is that we find some way to remedy the situation with our folks that are here now. And I'm willing to work with you in any way possible to get that done. One of the other things I wanted to mention is that when we do go back to the table, we just signed a 2-year agreement, which I want to thank everybody who worked real hard on that, Sarah and Leona, who isn't here tonight. But the summer assistance program is something that's very important to our part-time folks, because it does match dollar for dollar state money for the money that they set aside. And I wanted to prepare anybody who's going to be here in 2 years to expect me to come with that as one of our top priorities to facilitate our part-time folks being able to make it through the summer and in a fashion that meets the standard that our district sets. You know, they want to live the life that they feel is appropriate for them, and I think that we can do that if we all work together on it. Other than that, I'm right at the end of your phone. If there's ever anything you need, everybody knows, you just make a phone call and I'm basically right at your back door. So if there's anything I can ever do, please let me know. And I'd like to say thank you and welcome again to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. You can please have Newport-Mesa Federation of Teachers President Rhonda Reed.
Good evening, Dr. Smith, President Anderson, trustees, and guests here tonight. We have been working with the district on some school sites. Some sites continue to have concerns with student behaviors, social and emotional issues, and learning loss. Our teachers have risen to the occasion, and we are pleased that the district has contracted with an outside agency with trained personnel to provide assistance to teachers in their classroom with student behaviors. We are looking forward to more support and continued dialogue with the district on these issues. And last night, we celebrated our amazing site reps for all their hard work on behalf of the teachers they support at their sites. And we are deeply grateful for all that they do for their colleagues. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, number 17, community input on non-agendized items.
This is an opportunity for the public to address the board regarding items not on the regular meeting agenda. Comments on non-agenda topics are limited to 3 minutes per comment, up to 20 minutes per topic. A speaker may not relinquish his or her time to another person. By order of the Brown Act, Section 54954.2, the board will take no action nor have any discussion on non-agendized items. The superintendent may provide clarification during superintendent's comments.
Okay. First up is Frank Rodriguez.
Good evening. My name is Frank Rodriguez. I'm a gay man, and I'm here to express my disapproval of how this district has chosen to support their LGBTQIA youth. The gender-affirming movement is homophobic, and I'm here to explain why. When I was a little boy, I loved playing with my sister's dollhouse. I remember when I would go to school, I would actually play with the one there. It was amazing. I also was a little boy who loved putting on my mother's clothes and trying on her makeup. I never had any boys that were my friends, simply girls that were my friends. This gender-affirming movement would have had me thinking I was a girl born in the wrong body. Simply because a child represents themselves as gender non-conforming does not mean he or she is born in the wrong body. We now have countries picking up this information to ensure they protect their citizens. Why aren't we? GoFundMe has upwards of 42,000 children fundraising for surgeries to affirm these very things. I would have been one of them. I would have been one of the many detransitioners that speak out today, but instead, I'm simply a gay man because I was allowed to grow up and fully understand who I am. This district is affirming child's gender without their parents' knowledge. Imagine trying to be a good parent, but instead treating your child in a way that they don't like because this district is choosing to fail them by not incorporating the parents in that conversation. We are not in the 80s anymore. The closet trauma that my community experiences is not happening in most cases today. Studies have shown our country supports the LGBTQ. We are hearing from people with deeply rooted trauma that my community has not dealt with. Therefore, we have 40% addicted to drugs, 50% think life isn't worth living, and sadly, 25% have attempted to take their own life. I would ask that if you truly want to help the gay community, don't cut off their parents. Mine were so valuable to me in growing up in ways you couldn't imagine. My name is Frank Rodriguez. I'm the Director of Operations for Gays Against Groomers. My voice is impacted by almost 1 million people here today. And I'm opening up communication with all of you to ensure that we can have a seamless process in ensuring that these students have safety not only at school, but at home too with inattentional behaviors. So please reach out to me and contact me so we can work together and not against each other. Thank you.
Thank you. Amber Sides.
Hi. Do I start now? Okay. Hi, my name is Amber Sides. I have a fifth grade student at California Elementary School, and I am speaking on behalf of several California elementary school parents that are concerned about the education that our children are receiving. There's several kids that are bullies at the school, and it just doesn't seem that there's any protocol for these teachers. Kids are running out of class, they're disruptive. So my daughter is getting a very choppy education right now. Thankfully she hasn't personally been bullied, but there are children that are being bullied on a daily basis. There's teachers that are crying because they're not able to get through a lesson. I have a couple letters from students that are anonymous, but this is what some of the kids say. Dear school district, there is a boy in my class that is very distracting. First of all, he disrupts my class and he makes it hard to learn. He yells across the room to his friends. Also, he sometimes runs out of the class and our teacher has to stop our learning. It's very distracting. It's very frustrating. Also, he took my pencil and I never got it back. Sincerely, fifth grade student at California Elementary. Another one. I don't like it when the teacher is in a bad mood because of they named 3 names. We don't learn as much because we're always interrupted. Dear head of Newport School District, there have been some troubles at my school. One bad thing that has been happening is a lot of kids have been playing violently. Another problem is that there has been a lot of bullying in my grade. One more reason that I am writing this letter is that we haven't been able to learn because of bad behavior. And the bad behavior is only spreading because at the beginning of the year, all the classmates were nice. But now we have some problems in the classroom. Also, 2 kids have been accusing me of crimes that I didn't do. What we're asking, we want support for our school. Our principal needs support. I heard from teachers that basically our kids need more these bad kids need more hugs. They need, the teachers need to connect more with the students. They need support. Our teachers need support. They can't teach with this kind of disruption. Last year in the 4th grade, there were several problems and parents didn't know about it. We're asking as parents that we're talked to, that the principal talks to us, that they fill us in. I know they can't give us all the details about what's happening with the other kids, but we're the parent. The school can't just fix everything. We need to be involved. What else am I going to say? Anyway, we need support, and we can't just let this keep going on. We're going to lose a lot of kids and families if there's not discipline in place. And anyway, thank you.
Thank you. Next up is Andre Amiri, and then following that will be Michelle Cusimano.
Good evening. My name is Andre Miri. I'm also a California Elementary 5th grade parent, and I'm here to echo sentiments from Amber. My ask to you, and we have been having small group meetings with Mr. Drake and his staff, so I'm here to set context and raise awareness. And my ask to you is to provide them the support and resources, should they come to you, to implement interventions. So before Thanksgiving, we had our first concerted effort to meet with Mr. Drake's staff. And in that meeting, the teachers sat in, the 5th grade teachers, and they were crying. And not saying much, but that was enough for me to know that we were in a dire situation. So it hasn't been mentioned, just for their own sanity and health, we need intervention. It was mentioned that lessons have to be cut short because the teacher can no longer tolerate. The same cohort that caused the issues of bullying caused, well, we think, since not a lot of communication occurs, of the last year's 4th grade teacher to go on a leave of absence. So our teachers are at a risk of burnout, and we need to preserve their health and give them a working environment where they can actually teach. This has a risk of ruining California elementary schools' reputation. We're known for music program, arts, performing arts, and a number of parents have already started talking about moving their kids to other schools. And let's face it, these are the parents who give their time to PTA or their treasure to foundation. Both organizations fund these extracurricular activities. So it's an existential issue, and it will be a disservice to kids who do not have that option to go to a different school if we do have an exodus. So again, the lack of effective interventions has caused kids who are maybe middle of the road, maybe not so much troublemakers, they become emboldened. They see this as normalized behavior, and so they're starting to cause trouble. And so we need, again, effective interventions. And then lastly, my ask is for transparency. We want to know everything. We don't need to know names. We just need to know frequency of occurrences, severity of the incident, and hopefully we see a downtrend of these occurrences with interventions that are being implemented. We don't have information at the moment. Thank you.
Thank you. And following Michelle, it will be Elsa Aguilera.
Good evening, board members. My name is Michelle Cusumano. This is Stevie Cusumano, my son. Stand up. I, together with a large group of California parents and families, ask that you listen, hear, and consider immediately addressing the disturbing and ongoing issues at our school. If you have not already been made aware, please know that our 5th grade students at California are not receiving an adequate education. Their lesson plans are interrupted daily due to a select few of poorly behaved students. These same students harass, abuse, verbally assault, and intimidate not only their classmates and those in the lower grades, like my son, but their teachers who work tirelessly to educate them. Please allow us to inform you that the teachers have on multiple occasions left the classroom in tears during lessons after having been cussed at, had items thrown across the room, after having had those same students conduct themselves in an obnoxious, disrespectful, and disgraceful manner. Our kids are not learning. They come home and they reveal to us parents that they are unable to hear in class, that they cannot understand the instruction by their teachers due to taunting, constant teasing, and repeated bullying, both in and outside of the classroom. The teachers are laughed at, they're made fun of, and abused with no recourse. Please know that we have met more than once with the district. We've met multiple times with the principal. We requested that the principal take her concerns seriously. Since day one and the first week of school, we informed our principal of the previous year's physical assaults, the systematic increase in violence, the bullying, the verbal harassment by these same students upon our children. We were promised disciplinary protocols and interventions would be put into place, and we have waited years. We have lost tenured teachers to mental health absences taken by them on more than one occasion as a result of these same students. Despite the district's assurances that that progress has been made, we respectfully disagree. We were told that these interventions, these effective protocols put in place cannot be revealed to us. As parents, we have a right to know. We ask about suspensions, expulsions, school campus security, parents volunteering on campus support. Instead of answering our questions, we have been advised that the district superintendents did not enter the educational field to expel 10-year-old students. Therefore, while we understand this, we need the board to please help us. We need to strengthen disciplinary protocols, especially at California at this time. The principal has a duty to guarantee an education. Wow.
Thank you.
The education code allows and calls for it.
Thank you. Elsa Aguilera.
I'm speaking for Elsa. She's back there. It was supposed to be my name. I'm Patiana Harudian. I'm going to read 3 more letters that were from some of the students. Some of them are very difficult to read.
If she's in the back, she needs to come up and speak. You can't speak for somebody else if they're in the room.
I'm sorry, Elsa.
If she needs.
It's fine. You read a couple. Okay, you don't want to read these?
Brandon Mungai. And then after that will be Rondi Covert.
Hey, good evening. I'm Brandon Mungai. I have a 10-year-old daughter who goes to California Elementary School. I'm a single father. I moved to Mesa Verde back in 2013, looking at the school scores and everything, thinking I can walk my daughter to school. But it became a concern to me earlier this year, or a few months ago, when there was a prank call for a school shooting to California. Ever since then, I started asking my daughter. I see her every other week. So the first day I see her is a Monday, pick her up from school. How's school? Oh, this kid did this kid did that. It's nothing about what she learned in school except for all these kids, these bullies, yelling in class, making the teachers cry. So, I started seeing a pattern. I hear all these things. I was made aware that when she was in 4th grade, her teacher, Mr. Erskine, had to leave in the last few months of school due to mental health issues. Later, we were told that it was due to the kids, the same 5th graders that were in 4th grade. I can tell you this, that I'm paying tutoring for her math skills, just subtracting and multiplication and stuff like that. I'm paying probably about $400 a month because she didn't get her math lessons, because the teachers kept changing. And my child isn't the only child that had to suffer through that, okay? So basically, I feel that, bullying, it's here, right? It's always going to be here. But it just feels like California is kind of grooming these bullies, from 3rd grade to 4th grade to 5th grade. Now, I'm considering pulling my child out of this school. But it sucks because I live right down the street, and it just, that whole dream of walking your child to school, it's not going to exist anymore because I got to drive somewhere else. because the schools, I mean, I can see the principal doing stuff, but it's just difficult to have to sit through this and see what's going on, you know, and seeing I mean, she tells me that her teacher cries and she has to go, and another substitute have to come the next 2 days. I mean, can you guys imagine going back to class? I mean, we all had our favorite teachers when we were young, but they don't have that because they keep leaving, you know, due to, you know, all these bullying. I mean, not just with the students, but against the teachers too. So, I mean, that's it. It just really sucks, you know, to be a dad and see my daughter go through that. So that's it. Thanks.
Thank you. Rondi Covert. And then after that will be Aracima McAllister.
There's a few of us that want to speak on the same topic, so I don't know if we're all going to go after.
Yeah, you can speak.
Okay, good evening. Thank you for letting me address you tonight. My name is Rondi Covert, and I've been a district employee for 18 years. 11 of those were as a 10-month employee, and now I'm an 11-month employee as a registrar at Costa Mesa High School. And I'm here to talk about the summer classified school employee summer assistance program. I can say that there were many summers that I would have loved the opportunity to have saved a little bit more. Now with the classified school employee summer assistant program, employees not working a 12-month schedule have this program to supplement the dry months. Many of these positions are held by part-time employees that fill an important place in Newport-Mesa, such as special ed aides, health assistants, nutrition services, noon duty supervisors, etc. They are a commodity, as many of these positions continue to have openings and struggle to find dedicated people to serve our students. For a program that is shared by the state and the employee, this is a win-win. For the benefit to many valued classified employees, we ask that NMUSD approve this and support their classified employees holding positions working less than 12 months. Thank you.
Thank you. Aracima McAllister. And then following that will be Graciela Becerra.
Dear board members, thank you for allowing me to be here. I'd like to take this opportunity to express my gratitude. Your countless work hours have greatly benefited the entire Newport-Mesa Unified School District students, staff, and community. My name is Aracima McAllister, a Costa Mesa High School school community facilitator, a full-time classified employee working 10 months per year, and also a mom. I love my job. It's wonderful working with students, families, and school staff. But I love my son too. His name is Andre, a student with special needs, and a former student at Harper and Sonora School. As his mom, it's my responsibility to provide for his basic needs. I apply to summer positions here at Newport-Mesa every year. I have been fortunate that I get to work for a few hours for 4 weeks, but it's not enough. I have to take personal loans to be able to pay my rent, and use credit cards to eat, pay bills, and cover everything else. Unlike me, many classified employees face similar struggles during the summer. So I'm here to talk about the Classified School Employee Summer Assistance Program. It allows classified school employees the opportunity to receive up to $1 for $1 match from the state of California on contributions workers make during the school year. More than 200 local educational agencies participated in the second year of this program, with at least 29,000 employees participating statewide. Gender, age, marital status don't matter, or if the employee is full or part-time. The only requirement is to be employed in a school district for 11 months or less, earn less than $62,400 per year in their district job, and have been working for at least 1 year. I'm asking you to please opt in to participate in the Classified School Employee Summer Assistance Program before January 2023. Reducing financial stress not only will improve the lives of classified employees, but will also improve engagement. Showing that we are valued as individuals inspires loyalty and motivation, and help us focus on continuing to assist students and families of the Newport-Mesa community. And children like Andre can grow happy, confident, and ready for the future. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to the superintendent and the members of the board for allowing me to speak tonight. My name is Griselda Becerra, and I have worked for the Newport-Mesa School District for 16 years. I feel very fortunate to have this job, and I have the opportunity to work with all these amazing students. Like you said in that last meeting, people that work for the school district are not here to make money, but we all have to cover our personal expenses, like rent, health insurance, car insurance, phone bill, gas, electricity, and water bill. And I had to put food on the table on my table. This summer, I was very fortunate to have worked for the district. I worked 4 weeks, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, and in August 10, 2022, I received part of my summer check, and it was for $1,231.04. As you can see, my check barely paid for my bills, so I had to take out a personal loan to cover the rest of my finances for August and September as well. As you can see, the summer was very difficult financially for me and for all the classified employees who work for part-time and less than 11 months. That is why I ask you to participate in the Classified School Employee Summer Assistance Program that the state is offering us. It's offering us since those funds are going to benefit us enormously financially during the summer. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. And lastly, Pam Dickey.
Thank you for allowing me to speak tonight. My name is Pam Dickey, and I work at Costa Mesa Middle School. I am here to ask for your support with the Classified Summer Assistance Program. This program is funded by the state of California to help school employees who work 11 months or less through the summer lean months. I'm very nervous. Many of us would be willing and able to work additional hours in our positions, but extra time is not offered. Many of my coworkers work second jobs just to make ends meet. We sometimes hear, if you want more money, find another job or go back to school. But some of us actually love our jobs, love working with these kids. I've chosen to work with children my entire life. I've been a nanny, a pediatric nurse's assistant, I ran my own in-home daycare, and finally for 15 years I've worked as an instructional assistant to special education with Newport-Mesa. Again, we choose to work with children, and isn't that what this education is about? At the end of the school year, we are given our letter of reasonable assurance that we will return our position the following school year. Receiving this notification means that we can't collect unemployment, and we're off for 2 months. Allowing employees to invest our money in this valuable state program and have it matched by the state, not the district, would be extremely helpful to all of those able to participate. The impact to the school district would be minimal, but the benefits to your employees would be immense. I'm asking you to reconsider your decision and start participating in this very beneficial program. Invest in your employees by helping us to invest in ourselves. Thank you.
Moving on to 18, superintendent's comments.
Let me start with Stu. When you mentioned if we call, you're going to be at our back door, it made me just a little bit nervous. But I trust you, so I'm okay. But seriously, on the issue of our instructional aides, especially the shortages in some of our neediest classrooms, just want to remind the board and the community that it's something that they've taken so seriously that we've convened already a special education task force with representation from CSEA and NMFT as well as management. But beyond that, convening a work group on the instructional aid shortages in our district. It's pervasive all over California, but we want to get together. We've asked them to nominate people, to actually just place people on this work group so we can have a conversation about what can we do to better recruit and retain these folks for those classrooms, all classrooms, but especially those where we find some of our neediest students. So that work has already started, and we're grateful for the participation of our labor allies in that work. To Mr. Rodriguez, I would just thank him for sharing his story and having the courage to stand there and do so. The California Elementary, a thank you as well to those parents that showed up tonight. And I suspect are in the room watching for advocating not just for the safety and learning of their students, which is extremely important, but also the advocacy for staff members. What a compliment to the classified and certificated folks on that campus. And I can tell you that when we look at addressing this issue, the district office was mentioned, and we're going to continue doing that work, meeting, really digging into what can be done. But we're not doing it alone. This is a topic that our labor allies have brought up as well. How do we support these classrooms, California in particular? So this is something that we're all concerned about working on. I'll say that the board hasn't turned down an innovation yet or disagreed with an innovation. Some things are being implemented, not limited to additional support in the classroom. So these are things we're going to continue to do to make sure that our students are safe and learning there, but in all of our campuses. Again, thank you to those parents. The Summer Saver program, I can't really comment on negotiated items, but I'll say this. Every time I've met with CSEA, they've brought this up. So the leadership of CSEA is representing this concern regularly, and we'll continue the conversation about the district denying it. I might see that a little differently, but we'll have conversations about how we get this done. But more than all that, I just want to thank the employees who stood up and mentioned their years of service and the love they have for the classroom. Certainly no one disputes that. And so we'll continue those conversations. That concludes my remarks.
Okay, number 19, community input on agendized items.
This is an opportunity for the public to address the board regarding items on the regular meeting agenda. Comments on agenda items are limited to 3 minutes per comment, up to 20 minutes per topic. A speaker may not relinquish his or her time to another person. Speaker cards for items on the discussion action calendar may be held until that item is considered by the board if the speaker prefers.
We only have one comment, and it is on item 24B. Would you like to speak now or when we discuss that item? John DeBroke?
Yeah, I'll wait. Actually, it's 23B.
Okay, all right, thank you. Okay, number 20, report on theater project at Estancia High School. Mr. Trader?
Good evening. Tonight we're making progress on the Estancia Theater, and we have our facility director, Ada Zarezny, and she's going to make a presentation to the board.
Good evening, everyone. Superintendent Smith, Ashley, our new president, welcome new board members, and our guests. So I'm Ada Zarezny, been working for the district for a long time, and I brought along a friend. So this is Sarah Minsky, and she's a senior student at Huntington Beach High School, and she expressed some interest in our field of work, and so she wanted some exposure, so I brought her along and wanted to introduce her to you. So quite an experience for her so far, and hopefully she enjoys it, right? Okay. I've known her since she was this big. She played softball, family. So anyhow, thank you for having me tonight. Wanted to give you an update on the progress on our project. As you know, we've been through quite a bit to get this project moving again. And so just want to give you the highlights of where we are. So as you know, our intent after we made the decision to relocate the building was really to maintain as many of the elements structurally, architecturally, so that we could get through DSA sooner. So the scope of the project, we haven't removed anything other than site security fencing. So the project scope is still hardscape, landscape, drop-off, and then as we know, it's a 350-seat theater. There's a black box and all of the support spaces. So this is just kind of the history of the project. It's been a long time coming. 2005, we sold the bond to fund the project. And so here we are, once we decided to move the project from Site 2 to Site 3 in July. We're moving forward, and I won't go over all the history. You've heard me say it probably 20 times. So what have we done so far? We've done a lot of work. We've been looking at how we relocate this building into the north lot, adjacent to the tennis courts, off of Placentia, and adjacent to the gymnasium. And so as you can see here, just kind of looking at the overview of the project, the building pretty much looks exactly the same as you would recall of what we've shown you before. And so the only thing that I will say that's worthy to note so far is, like I said, the fencing has been removed from the project. And then if you look back here in this area, if you can see my cursor on the screen, we originally had the dock for the loading dock here for this scene shop in this direction. And so far, we've only had to move it in this direction. So not too many structural changes. Most of the work that we have been doing is really associated with all of the hardscape around the building. So you can see here all of the concrete or pavers, all of the landscaping that we're proposing. And then another element of the project is really something that was important to us was to keep all of the entrances and exits off of Placentia in the same place. So traffic flow, people being, kind of used to what is there, and not only that, just working with the city on those entrances and exits was important because of the signals that we have along Placentia. So we will still have the signal coming in adjacent to the tennis courts. And what we've tried to do is create a drop-off area and parking in front of the theater. And then you would be able to come down and physically pull over the car, drop off a guest if you needed to, if there wasn't sufficient parking in that first section. And then we were planning on having one contiguous lot. So you could come in off that signal, you can make it all the way through in front of the theater and all the way through what we call the banana lot or the bus drop-off, all the way to the other exit that currently exists. Okay, so what does it look like? This still looks familiar, I would assume. Different location, you can kind of see the orientation is still off of Placentia. And the nice thing about this building is because of the curvature of the front of the structure, it still works with that curvature of Placentia, which we're just really fortunate that that's the case. You can see the larger mass here is the theater proper, and then the smaller mass here, that's the black box area, which is essentially the same as it was before. The elements that I described a little bit earlier are really all of the hardscape or concrete and pavers and the landscaping. And so the intent of relocating the building, if you can all imagine, I know we've all been to Estancia, but if you can imagine, the north parking lot sits lower than the gymnasium. And so we had to deal with all of those elevations, and we are siting the new building so that it's essentially at the same elevation as the gym entry. So we're sloping all the areas around the building to meet the elevations of the gymnasium, the fire lane behind it, and the street and the sidewalks. So there's some retaining walls that you'll see. There's some benches out there, and we're still trying to create that outdoor meeting space where we could still have students out there. People could be having small performances out there. That's still the intent. So this is still preliminary, and then I'll get into kind of our ability to make some changes when I talk about the schedule a little bit more. So again, these are the two performing spaces. On the left-hand side, you'll see the theater itself. You can see the catwalks on either side, some of the cloud system, which is all of our acoustical measures, and then the seating area itself. One of the different things about this theater than any theater we have in the district are these little side areas here on either side. And so you could have seating there, but we've also talked about those being performance spaces. So if you wanted to have either actors or musicians up in those side areas, they could also kind of be more involved with the attendees or kind of just be more involved in that performance space than just on stage. And then on the right-hand side, you can see we have the black box. One of the things that we did with this particular project was take a look at how our black boxes worked for our other theaters. A lot of the lessons learned were just about having appropriate circulation space in the area. So we've enlarged this particular black box to be able to accomplish that. Okay. So redesign, rebid timeline. As we know, we made a decision to move the building. A lot of the work that has been taking place since then was geotechnical studies. So looking at our soils reports and seeing if our design that we had in the previous approval could still be substantiated in the current approval. We had our surveys. Our surveys are all of the elevations to see how that building would work with all of the existing areas around it, which I was describing to you earlier. And then acquiring, which is a new type of procurement for us, a lease-back general contractor. And so in our traditional projects, we've done design, bid, build. The advantage of having a lease-back contractor, which we had quite a great participation of general contractors who were interested and ended up interviewing 6, was that we can bring them on in advance of DSA approval. So they are currently working with our architect to help us refine our drawings that actually, and I'll explain this a little bit more, went into DSA today. That doesn't prohibit our opportunity to make changes, and I'll speak about that a little bit. So then we anticipate that we will have, here I'll skip to the next screen. So we anticipate that we will have DSA review completed in March of 2023, which means that they will have received our drawings, reviewed our drawings, provided comments. Once those comments come back to us, then the architect will make those changes to the drawings and resubmit for what's called a back check. And once we do that, then we'll have DSA approval. As far as the lease-back contractor, because we have them on board already and we have the opportunity to be working with them in advance of DSA approval, we are looking at a schedule to potentially close the north lot over ski week and set up the temporary parking, which will eventually become permanent parking, underneath the solar structures. And so what we've done to prepare for that, we've met with the COC most recently, I believe it was last Monday. We have met with the site planning committee. We've met with the principals, and we've kind of talked about what that looks like in relocating that parking and getting that lot set up. And so the anticipation is that the contractor will come on board, close off that lot, be able to put fencing around it, start to set up all of their pre-construction activities, which would be putting their trailers in, setting up their power service, their internet service, potentially taking down or starting a demo phase. And so what we've done to prepare for that, We've had 2 meetings with DSA to get their approval to be able to start some of those pre-construction activities. And so we have full buy-in by DSA to be able to do those type of activities in advance of what you're seeing here, which is the March DSA review and approval. So we're working hard to get there. There's a lot of work to be done. And just from experience, one of the most challenging parts about starting a project is understanding what's underneath that pavement and in the ground. Once you get cleared from all your infrastructure and your soil issues, building a new building is not as challenging as doing a modernization. So the sooner that we can have the contractor come aboard and be able to start doing some of that site investigation, the better we are going to be off on getting ahead of the schedule and being completed when we anticipate, which right now we're saying November 2024. That's, at the mercy of DSA, at the mercy of the weather and any unforeseen conditions. But as far as submitting to DSA, we had a conversation with DSA about our submission today. And the reason and the intent for it is that the code cycle changes in 2023. So come January 1st of 2023, if we had not submitted this year, the code cycle would completely change, and all of the work that we had done on the original approval of the project would have to be reevaluated and redone. And so we got a gracious, we'll accept your project, even though we know it's not 100%. And I know this is being recorded, but don't tell any other school district. But that it's not 100%, which still allows us to have these conversations if there are specific items that we want to consider for redesign. Obviously, we don't want to, spend any more time or incur any more costs that are unnecessary, but the conversation can still be had. So I don't want the idea of our early submission today to discourage any of you or think that we still can't have those conversations, which we are having with the school site, and we're here to do that. I understand this is just a report today, but we're still open to those conversations if we need to have a study session or the architect come in and present to you. I always like talking to you also. So that's where we are. Are there any questions? You all just did that for the benefit of Sarah, right?
Trustee Wayman.
Thank you, Sarah.
Yeah, I think they're Estancia fans. I have a question on the parking lot in the back, where you say once you take down the parking lot in the front. So what needs to happen to that parking lot in the back to make it, viable parking space for students?
So we are going to have a separate meeting with the school site to talk about exactly that. We know that ultimately that's going to become permanent parking. And so the typical things that we would do would be obviously the fencing from that south lot adjacent to Estancia and Joanne Street. There's a segregation of fencing from the front lot to the back lot, and that may or may not go away because we're talking about that potentially being staff parking. And so if staff parks back there, maybe that fencing stays and it's open, from this period to that period. The other elements are really wayfinding points, and then a protected walkway for pedestrians to get from the lot to wherever they're going, right? Once you start parking back there, I know people who attend athletic events are really familiar with where to go because they park back there already. So we're looking at wayfinding points, and then from the perspective of safety, we're looking at how we improve lighting along in between the parking lot. We know we have the solar structure has a lot of lighting. I mean, it's bright, right? And we just actually fixed it because it was not working. But there are also light post options that we can put in to kind of carry you through to the stadium or the tennis court or the theater eventually. So we're going to look at those long term. Temporarily, I think the lighting and then just the wayfinding and a secured path of travel. But in between the parking itself, we'll have to look at from the building, the back of the building of the school has a few doors for student exits So how do we protect that little area to create a walkway and protect the parking stalls themselves? And then traditionally, anytime we put any sort of parking lot immediately adjacent to a field or playground area, there's a curb, right? So cars can't just drive through a fence. So there's a curb, and there's more significant fence. Right now, there's a 4-foot fence with openings to walk out there. So we'll look at improving all of that long term, but in the interim, we'll have to do something to still meet those measures. We do have to go back to DSA on that project specifically, even though we had approval already to repave that entire area. It wasn't considered a parking lot. So it had no ADA parking stalls associated with it. So we'll make those changes to our DSA submission, have them put in ADA stalls, which will acquire all that path of travel that I was just describing.
Okay, and then the number of parking spots in front of the theater, how many
I think it's like 50, maybe 45. Okay. It's not very many. We tried to preserve as many we could and also kind of create this drop-off area.
Yeah.
So even if you can't park there and you need to drop somebody off, they can easily get into the building, and then, you know, whoever is parking the car could park a little bit further.
Okay, thank you.
I can give you an exact count. I can get that to Dr. Smith.
As you can see, parking's important to me as I pick up, drop off things and people, and, you know.
Oh, I understand.
Thank you.
Of course.
Trustee Crane?
Yes, hi, thank you for the report. And so 2 questions. One is, you had mentioned that a fence is going to be put up around February during the break in February. What is that going to look like as far as disrupting maybe or transitioning student use and usage of that area? And then, because I know that you're meeting with the site leaders and teachers and
athletics,
right?
And
because that's a huge right.
Yeah,
so what's that going to look like?
We don't have that whole circulation plan in place yet. We can definitely provide that on a Friday update and kind of give you our working thoughts on that. But I will tell you, once we take that lot down, one of the things that we're trying to do is really promote the project. So rather than seeing just your traditional green fence around it, we're looking at doing some graphics that kind of announce the performing arts program and the theater itself. So hopefully it doesn't just look like a construction site, but as soon as we have some ideas about that circulation plan, I'd be happy to share them with you all.
Okay, and then the second, actually, it's not a question, it's a comment. I do appreciate you being farsighted about the start of the new year, possibly having new codes and all that, and us trying to be grandfathered into the 2022, because that could definitely add to cost and time and everything else. So it's good that you've got a verbal from DSA that we're going to stick to the 2022 codes.
I'll just add to that we have a great relationship with DSA, so much that they are doing everything they possibly can to have the exact same reviewers who reviewed the original project review our resubmission, because they don't want other interpretations coming into our design. So we're lucky. We're very lucky.
Well, that's a testament to the team, I think.
Thank you.
You guys must be pro. Thank you.
We're just nice.
That helps too. Thank you.
Of course.
Are there any other questions?
Thank you all for having me.
Okay, moving on to item 21, informational items. Trustee Barto?
Yes, I was fortunate enough to be able to attend the CSBA Delegate Assembly, and they had a legislation update. I just figured I would share with you all from CSBA. Let me pull that up. Okay, so some items that CSBA had been following were AB 2034, which was related to Medi-Cal billing for students. That bill did not pass. However, it sounds like there's additional legislators looking to come up with a follow-up bill for that sort of thing. That's helpful for our special ed students in particular. AB 2584 was regarding the school board recall processes. As it stands, the way that it was done made it very expensive for school districts who are subject to one. That one, what they were hoping would pass in the assembly, but I need to find out if it did. It looked like it was close. AB 2933, home to school transportation, that passed but was not signed, but it did end up in the budget. So if you notice, there's home to school transportation funding in the budget. That was how it was handled. And then SB 1061, that passed. That's in lieu of elections for provisional appointments. This is kind of similar. This is something that's kind of in the weeds for us as board members, but in the past, if you had a board member resign and you needed to have a special election for that board member, the way it had to occur in many cases was a special election had to be done for that. Now they extended that deadline so it can coincide with state or local elections, and that streamlines costs for everyone. They did mention some budget wins and losses, so I'll just go through those pretty quickly. Budget wins, they had, and some of this doesn't apply to us as much because we are basic aid, but they're $8.9 billion for LCFF, COLA, base increase, and COVID ADA relief. The nice thing is that the state protected the LEA's abilities to access these funds regardless of ADA, which is something that will be helpful. And then they are also including a 3-year averaging to account for declining enrollment. They are doing the nutrition, universal meals, and ongoing funding and reimbursement rates. That's increasing. Additionally, the bill that was requiring schools to buy locally, or at least within the country, that did pass as well. So I think those two things go hand in hand because you've got that reimbursement rate increase as well. And then $1.3 billion in general funds as part of non-Prop 98 for schools as well. Some losses, including the employer pension costs. We, as school board members, keep asking that be included in the budget, and that has not yet been included. Again, additional funding for TK facilities. That one also is not. Here's some things that they're looking for in 2023. Funding the COLA and base programs. If you guys attended the Schools for Sound Finance, they talked about how with the way the budget's structured right now, they would not be able to fund the COLA, or it's unlikely. So that's something that we should see some legislation regarding, or at least some funding changes. And then additionally, especially for school districts, but also CSBA is very interested in legislation and funding regarding cybersecurity, PERS and STIRS, mental health, enrollment-based funding, changing how that looks a little bit, especially TK facilities, as I mentioned, and then a district focus on small districts. And then there's Prop 28, which passed and provides a increase that has to go to school sites for LEAs to go to the arts. If you guys were able to attend that Schools for Sound Finance, they did talk a little bit about how that would go and how it was tied to employment and not necessarily violins or art supplies, things like that for arts. So that'll be something that each district has to navigate and figure out how we approach that. So that's my quick recap from about 3 hours of legislation, with what is most pertinent for us. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Mr.
Crane, did you have a question?
Yes, a quick question on AB 2933, the home to school transportation. Is this a funded or an unfunded liability for our district?
So
the way we
actually,
are
no,
funded?
it's funding that is put into the budget that comes down to school districts.
Okay.
Yeah, the other way. So instead of liability, it's a pot of money that goes out. Instead of that bill passing, they just funded it in the budget.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Cool. Okay. All right, moving on to item 22, consent calendar. Do I have a motion?
I move that we approve the consent calendar as listed.
Second.
Okay. Trustee Crane and Trustee Ursulou seconded. Roll call vote?
Trustee Anderson?
Yes.
Trustee Crane?
Yes.
Trustee Wayman?
Yes.
Trustee Pearson?
Yes.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
Trustee Ursulou?
Yes.
Trustee Barto?
Yes.
Moving to 23, discussion action calendar. 23A, approve the 2022-23 first period interim report of the district's financial status. Mr. Trader?
Good evening. It's good to be with you tonight. let's, are you ready to hear some good news?
Always.
All right, let's get to the good news. So here we are at first interim. And you know what it is it's required by law, and it captures all of the transactions and budget adjustments from July through October 31st. And you'll notice too, in this first interim, a lot of, it's kind of a true up. So, you know, if you look at what the state does, when we pass the budget in June, the state really hasn't really passed their budget at the time that you pass your budget. And so a lot of things happen, we assume a lot of things, but October is the time where we really say, okay, this is what the state did, and this is what we're going to do accordingly with our budget. So when you look at this reporting cycle, you can see here in July, the state adopts our budget. In September, we come to you with the unaudited actuals from the prior year. And now here we are at first interim. So we're doing all this cleanup. And as a result, you're going to see some fairly large adjustments, which might look disturbing at first, but it's normal course in terms of we're catching up with what the state has done, and we're also catching up with how we closed the year from the previous year. We're adjusting our beginning fund balances, those kinds of things. So you'll see some fairly large adjustments, but shouldn't be disturbed. In January, we'll come to you with a budget proposal from the state, update you on that, and then second interim at March, and then May, we'll give you the May revise. In June, we'll adopt another budget. So that's the fund calendar. And so let's take a look at what happened. What adjustments did we make at first interim? So you can see here we are at June adoption, where we say, hey, this is what our revenue is going to be. And then coming up here on first interim, we're going to add some. And so this was fairly healthy. You're looking at a $23.7 million increase for revenue overall. And a lot of that had to do with, we had a fairly large property tax revenue adjustment. Property taxes are remaining robust, which is really good news for us. And then we also added on a lot of federal and state one-time money and the usual local adjustment where we adjust for school-connected organization support. So we start the year, but then as the year continues on, we see our school-connected organizations contributing to various programs as the year goes on. So that's kind of a normal thing. But the abnormal thing is all the one-time money that we've added that the state had and the federal folks. So, so good news. Expenditures, of course, they also increased. So when you take a look here, June adoption, first interim, and we add, of course, this is to match for the increased revenue. So you're looking at staffing, supplies, and other services that happened. And then when we go to other financing uses, those decreased. And this was actually due to a decrease in transfers out. And so looking at going to our ending fund balance, the ending fund balance also increased slightly. At June adoption, there's where we are. And then here we are at first interim, and we're adding about, I want to say about $4.5 million, if my memory yes, $4.5 million. So that's good news when we can increase the ending fund balance. So let's take a look at the multi-year outlook. So property values are kind of leading the growth. Here's the top line. That's a wonderful line. It's up and to the right. And but you'll see there, revenues flatten out significantly in the out years. So that's a concern for us. That means we're going to have to sharpen our pencil. Here's the property tax line, essentially. Again, that's leading the way, and that's really good news. And then look at this, federal. You can see that federal, that's significant. A lot of money, and this is all one-time money, right? You see that dropping off. And then state, look at that. And then, of course, local is kind of consistent. So, but this bump here in federal and state it's a problem for us because we're ramping up to assist and make sure we help our students, but then that money's going to go away. So we're figuring that out, and we're planning for that. And so We'll make that happen. Revenue expense are aligned. This is good news. Here's the revenue line. Again, you see that revenue going up, and then it's going to drop off and stabilize out. And that means we have to sharpen our pencils. And then there's the expense line. And as you can see, really good. We always need to keep these lines separated with the red line below the green line. But you can see in the out years, that's changing. And that means we have some work to do from the budget perspective to make sure that those lines remain separated. And so, again, I always come to you with this, but it's such a big piece of our budget, and that is the employer pension rates, and they have been increasing. However, the good news, it looks like they're topping out. So it's really significant. After years and years of just real strong inclines in those rates, and that's been hard to keep up with, really hard to keep up with. It looks like they're topping out, which is great. And you can see here how the pension costs have really crowded out. They become, much more, as a percent of our budget, have become a greater percent of our budget. Yes?
Do pensions typically work inversely with inflation? Is that why it's flattening out, or what's the trend typically?
So that's a great question. Because the the pensions are really driven by the percent that they are funded. So in other words, how much of the liability have they funded? And their targets are to be at 100% funded. And they see that that line is increasing with the increases in the rates that they have put in. So inflation-wise, it could impact that liability, but we haven't seen that at this point, at least in their estimates. So,
thank you.
So then, and then let's talk about ending fund balance here. You can see here's the ending fund balance projection, and then this red line is really cash. This is something that we have to monitor carefully because we are basic aid, and it's also when you're basic aid, you're not on the same cash distribution system that our fellow LCFF districts are. So we have a very cash dry period between July and December, where we have very little cash coming in,
Yeah.
and we have to cover that. And so we watch that. And so part of that here is to indicate that we're in a good position cash-wise now, but that will deteriorate as those revenues flatten out. And so let's take a look here at the state is flagging financial weakness in the out years. The LAO just published a $25 billion deficit for the state next year, and that's without a recession. And so we know we're going to be in a recession in 23. So it's likely to be much higher than that. However, the good news is they have reserves, and so that's going to help absorb that shock. And so we're hopeful that at least what they're projecting to us is we can plan on what they have told us that they're going to give us, but no more. So that's helpful, and that's what we want. We want stability.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, then we're doing well. The state's budget is really favorable. This is really good news budget. Expenditures are increasing dramatically to keep up with the revenue that is coming in. We're stretching to meet goals, and we're positioned really well to handle COVID and the needs of our students. And so with that, then we recommend a positive certification for this budget.
Trustee Wayman, did you have a question?
Yes, thank you. How does the state had said that they were recommending the 8.5 or 9% COLA? How does that affect our pension rates and affect our budget?
So it makes it much more difficult for us to compete for talent with our surrounding districts who are LCFF. That's really the impact for us, because what's going to happen is you're going to see our fellow districts getting a very large COLA next year, and that's not going to happen with our property taxes, because our property taxes are going to go, are are going to flatten out because of the transactions due to the interest rates. Transactions have really kind of stopped. They've really flattened out. So it's going to be a challenge for us.
Can I just add some of the legislative intel that we got at CSBA was that while that's the COLA, they don't expect to be a fully funded COLA.
Yeah.
That they're going to deficit the COLA by most accounts. And even districts now that are looking at multi-year deals are saying a percentage of the fully funded COLA. So that may help us in that regard. But again, the good news is that money that we do get, they're committed to what they've committed to, which was great news. I sent you a note on that from CSBA. So.
Thank you. Any other questions? No? Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the 2023 first period interim report of our district's financial status?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Motion by trustee Wayman, seconded by trustee Ursulou. Roll call vote.
Student Board Member Isabella Mills.
Yes.
Trustee Anderson.
Yes.
Trustee Crane.
Yes.
Trustee Wygant.
Yes.
Trustee Pearson.
Yes.
Trustee Murphy.
Yes.
Trustee Ursulou.
Yes.
Trustee Barto.
Yes.
Okay. And moving on to 23B. John, would you like to make the comment after or after? Okay, perfect.
Hi, Superintendent Smith and Board. My name's John DeBrat. I live at 615 Violito Nord, Newport Beach, and I submitted the request to name the Newport Harbor High Pool after Bill Barnett. My wife and I are both Harbor High alumni. Our son is Harbor High alumni, and our oldest grandchild just started in kindergarten in the district. So we've been around for a while and plan to be around for a while. My first year at Harbor High, and I was obviously in aquatics, otherwise I wouldn't be for this standing before you, but I played water polo for Bill Barnett. And 1972, 50 years ago, it was my freshman year. It was the first year of the Harbor High pool. And it's hard to imagine it's, for me, it's been that long, but it's just been a great facility. It's really pleased that the refurbishment is happening. And I'm also really pleased that all our other high schools have these facilities too. It's fantastic for our area. It's what our area's recreation and good health is all about. You know, Bill Barnett used to say that the Harbor High pool was the most used body of water in the country. And, I agree with that. And, you know, he did an awful lot for me, for my teammates, for my fellow alumni, and, you know, just really appreciate that. His contributions and what he did will take way more than 3 minutes, so I won't bore you with any of that. I just wanted to be here to say I appreciate your consideration for this, and it means a lot again to us, so thank you.
Thank you. All right, 23B, approve the recommendation from the Newport-Mesa Unified School District Naming Committee to rename the Newport Harbor High School pool to the William Bill Barnett Pool.
So moved. Second.
Trustee Barto and Trustee Crane seconded. Roll call vote.
Student Board Member Isabella Mills.
Yes.
Trustee Anderson.
Yes.
Trustee Crane.
Yes.
Trustee Wygant.
Yes.
Trustee Pearson.
Yes.
Trustee Murphy.
Yes.
Trustee Ursulou.
Yes.
Trustee Barto.
Yes.
Number 23C, approve addition to high school course of study. Ms. Torres?
Hi, good evening. Before you tonight, you have some new courses. Some of you may have seen our newspaper article regarding the Spider Lab. I'm so excited. Thank you, Trustee Crane, for providing this to us. But it goes with our item this evening. So before you tonight, you do have a new course of study, some courses in enterprise that support the Spider Lab at Back Bay and could always be adapted to any of our schools.
Thank you.
Yes, I would like to move to approve the addition to high school course of study as listed.
Second.
Moved by trustee Crane, seconded by trustee Wygand. Roll call vote.
Student Board Member Isabella Mills?
Yes.
Trustee Anderson?
Yes.
Trustee Crane?
Yes.
Trustee Wygand?
Yes.
Trustee Pearson?
Yes.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
Trustee Ursulou?
Yes.
Trustee Barto?
Yes.
Yay.
23D, approve the 2023 CSBA Delegate Assembly nominations. We have one nomination for trustee Michelle Barto.
Do you want me to say anything?
Sure.
Okay. Thank you for the nomination. I am currently the appointed member of the CSBA Delegate Assembly, and hopefully will be elected for as a member for a 2-year term. The CSBA Delegate Assembly meeting this most recently had a lot of interesting information regarding legislation and pending litigation. There's a lot of changes in board members this most recent election cycle, so it looked very different than it had in previous years, and a lot of people are coming in new. So I think having a board member who has been on here only 4 years, but second term, will be helpful, and a lot of the energy that we've seen at CSBA, I think at Delegate Assembly, people were sad to see a lot of friends go. So it'd be nice to kind of keep that going and build up the ability that CSBA has to advise our school board members, and most importantly, build the networking piece, because I think one of the things that many of us board members have said over and over is we learn so much from what other districts are doing, and talking to other districts and seeing how the programs that we've rolled out can be improved, and also mentoring other districts who may be rolling out similar programs. I know the way that we changed our student board member program recently was in large part inspired by a presentation that we saw at CSBA several years ago, and how a different school district handled that. So thank you.
Thank you. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Moved by trustee Wygand, seconded by trustee Crane. Roll call vote.
Student Board Member Isabella Mills?
Yes.
Trustee Anderson?
Yes.
Trustee Crane?
Yes.
Trustee Wygand?
Yes.
Trustee Pearson?
Yes.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
Trustee Ursulou?
Yes.
Trustee Barto?
Yes.
Okay, moving to item 24, resolution adoption calendar. Adopt resolution number 181222, beneficiary agreement between the County of Orange and Newport-Mesa Unified School District for American Rescue Plan Act funding. Mr. Trader, would you like to say a few words?
This is a grant or a support from the county supervisors, and this is for our music and to support music and arts, and Mr. Drake may want to add some color to this.
Yeah, we are absolutely grateful for this monies coming to us from the County of Orange and our supervisor. One of the things that's amazing about this money is it will touch every school in our district. From all of the instruments, the rotating instruments that we will be able to purchase for all of our elementary schools. Our instruments rotate through the schools. Each elementary student will have access to those. And I know Tamara Fairbanks has done a great job really looking at all of our secondary schools and their needs, especially around the areas of those larger instruments, and has plans to make sure that every cent is spent and every child is impacted by this money. So I want to thank you.
As the supervisor's walking up, she's welcome to do so. I just had to add this. Mr. Drake mentioned that it's going to impact every school. That's not by accident. When the supervisor called me, she said, I want this to impact every school. That was her vision. And so I just wanted to give you a shout out for caring about all of our schools.
Thank you. Good evening. I'm Katrina Foley, County Supervisor for currently District 2, but in about, I don't know, a couple weeks, that'll be District 5, which includes Newport and Costa Mesa still. So really pleased to be able to support Newport-Mesa as a former Newport-Mesa School Board member, someone who sat right there where Member Murphy now serves. I know the importance of arts education in our community. I know how important it is to be able to afford the musical instruments that are so needed so that our students can come to class and learn and not be burdened with having to figure out how to buy a musical instrument. And I know that my children really benefited from the band programs. I love that we now have orchestra here at Newport-Mesa, and that orchestra program is expanding children's minds and giving them opportunities. Even if they don't eventually join the Pacific Symphony, they are learning and their brains are growing because of that musical instruction. So it is my honor and privilege to be able to use the funds from my office's American Rescue Plan dollars, $150,000 towards musical instruments that will benefit all schools in Newport-Mesa, from Newport all the way to Costa Mesa, and also $43,000 and change for Costa Mesa High School so that they can get a new piano. They have been using Newport Harbor's piano that was donated, a hand-me-down many, many years ago, and I think it's lived its best life. And so working with Mr. Linfors, who is incredible choir program, where we were able to fund that, as well as we're funding the songs for the season and making sure that all the students are outfitted and some other equipment that is needed. So it's my honor to be able to do this, and I look forward to partnering with all of you for future projects as we move into the new year. And if I can, I would like to, since I had 3 installations tonight, so I was all over the district, but I would like to just hand to all of you who are newly elected some certificates. I could just bring them all at once. So we have one for Ms. Murphy, Ms. Anderson, and congratulations on the presidency.
Thank you.
Michelle Bartow.
Thank you.
Great job on your report. Oh, thank you. Ms. Pearson, congratulations. We're missing one.
No, I think we're
No,
done.
that's it.
There's only 4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. And congratulations on the vice chair.
Thank you.
So with that, that's all I have. Honored to be able to serve you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Moved by trustee Barto, seconded by trustee Ursulou. Roll call vote.
Trustee Anderson?
Yes.
Trustee Crane?
Absolutely, yes.
Trustee Wygant?
Yes.
Trustee Pearson?
Yes.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
Trustee Ursulou?
Yes.
Trustee Barto?
Yes.
Okay. 24B, adopt resolution number 151222, finding the aquatic center improvements at Newport Harbor High School Center exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act and approving the filing and recordation of a notice of exemption. Mr. Trade.
Staff has completed a study that indicates that this is a project at Newport Harbor High, refurbishing the pool area, is exempt from the California Environmental Quality Act, and we recommend that exemption.
Thank you. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved by trustee Barto, seconded by trustee Crane. Roll call vote.
Trustee Anderson?
Yes.
Trustee Crane?
Yes.
Trustee Wygant?
Yes.
Trustee Pearson?
Yes.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
Trustee Ursulou?
Yes.
Trustee Barto?
Yes.
Okay, 24C, adopt resolution number 161222 to approve continued funding application with the California Department of Education for the state preschool program for the 2023-24 school year. Mr. Drake?
Yes, thank you. This is a resolution before you to approve our application for $4,900,000 reimbursable funds of up to $4,900,011 for our state preschool program, which currently serves 576 students, and this will be for the 23-24 school year.
A motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, moved by trustee Wygant, seconded by trustee Crane. Roll call vote.
Trustee Anderson?
Yes.
Trustee Crane?
Yes.
Trustee Wygant?
Yes.
Trustee Pearson?
Yes.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
Trustee Ursulou?
Yes.
Trustee Barto?
Yes.
Okay. 25, informal report, superintendent.
I'll be brief tonight. I want to congratulate all of you that were newly elected to the board. As I say, the courage that it takes to run for a volunteer position like this is never lost on me. when people ask me at CSBA, how did it go? I said 18,000 students and 3,100 employees won on election day, and I mean that. Look forward to working with all of you. Speaking of CSBA, I think it's impressive that everybody showed up to be intentional about governance and committing to effective governance. Yeah, it's the gift that keeps on giving. In any event, not all districts do that. You did. Just another demonstration of your commitment to our students and employees. Worth noting, I was on a panel talking about some of our lessons learned in governance, standing room only, people across the board, except for the two that left. Really appreciated it. Went so well that I've been asked to sit on another panel statewide and tell the same story. So again, the gift that keeps on giving. Speaking of statewide, this is the one update I wanted to make. This issue of a shortage of staff. And certainly we mentioned instructional aides tonight, but it's classified, it's certificated, it's management. In the state of California and nationally, there's a shortage of people applying for these very, very important jobs. I mentioned before that I've been asked to serve on a California coalition for staffing. That begins this week, so I'll be going to San Jose to meet with state leaders and Darlingham and others to talk about what we do as a state to address this, because our students deserve more, and our folks on the front lines deserve more support as well. So I look forward to coming back and sharing any good results from that.
Great, thank you. Okay, board member reports slash committee reports. Let's start at the end.
Okay,
Trustee Barton.
thank you. I don't have a lot to add other than I went to CSBA with all of you all. I also jumped into the Pacific Research Institute, their board member training, which was interesting to see what other people who are new to the board, what kinds of questions they have. I think as new board members, a lot of us have the question of what does a board actually do? And I think our new board members seem to have a really good understanding, so I'm very excited to work with you all. But that was interesting just to see how a lot of districts don't do as good of a job as onboarding their new board members as we have already done. So I appreciated that. Additionally, I attended the CDM High School Pep Rally, which was really fun to watch. And Home Alone is a personal favorite movie of mine, so that was fun to watch CDM's version of that. And then I attended the Newport Harbor High PTA Employee Appreciation Luncheon, and it was just great being around so many teachers who are working hard and who are happy to be there. And we're getting into finals, and everyone still had a smiling face, so that's always good to see. That's all.
And like all of you, I was also at CSBA. It was a great experience. And just congratulations to the 4 of you that just won. And that is all I have.
Same. Guess CSBA was great. Loved the new trustee workshop that Lisa and I had the pleasure of attending. It was great spending time and getting to know you, Wes, and my fellow trustees. It was a good experience, and looking forward to next year. And I don't have much to report. We haven't attended any other committee meetings. I did resign my position for Parks Commission for the City of Costa Mesa last week, so that was a little bittersweet, but I'm looking forward to our work with the City of Costa Mesa moving forward. And former trustee Charlene Metaway is not here anymore. She was sitting back there. I doubt she's watching on YouTube, but if you see her, tell her that I thanked her for all of her support and for everything she's done for the district, and I feel honored to step in her shoes, and I hope I can do just as good of a job, so if not better. So that's it. Thanks.
I am also thankful for our training at the CSBA and our team building. And Mr. Smith was definitely the rock star. He was definitely, we attended his seminar, and he was a standing ovation, which was definitely one of our favorites. So I feel very fortunate to be able to work with you for the next 4 years. I was also, my other favorite thing that I attended this week was the clap out for Karen Yelsey that TJ spoke about and also helped orchestrate. Watching the hundreds of students line the halls and having Karen, go by with the teachers hugging her and the students hugging her, and to see the love, the respect, the gratitude for her, it was very heartwarming. And as I got caught up in that, I definitely was thinking the same thing. I have very large shoes to fill, and will do my best to live up to Karen.
All right, great. I also was obviously at CSBA with all of you guys and the new members. Just wanted to welcome the new members to our board, Trustee Murphy and Trustee Pearson, and just ready to work with you all. And congratulations to the newly elected leadership of the board. I earlier today, shameless plug, I went to the Newport Beach swearing in of the city council members, and it was quite a day. So they have 4 new members, just like, I guess we have 2 new members, but reelected. And so just congratulations to all those people that were new council members coming in. Yes, and new trustees. Thank you.
Yes, same. I wanted to welcome the new trustees on the dais. I think it's always good to set a refresh button and start new. And this is a very exciting times. CSBA was a lot of fun. It was not only is it a very informational 4 days, it's also actually more importantly a bonding experience and getting to know us, each other as humans and as moms and wives and people who do things that isn't just this sitting up on the dais. So it was really nice to be able to get to know everyone. And wanted to wish all of our students, high school students, good luck on their finals week.
I'm gonna need it.
Because he's here. Yeah. Yeah, and just basically have a lot of gratitude for everyone who works really hard to make our kids successful.
Thank you. I have no report. I just want to thank our staff and our teachers, and I wish everyone a healthy and happy holiday break. And we will adjourn the meeting at 8:24. Thank you.
All right.